What's up, everybody? This is Big Herc with Prison Talk, and I had one of our viewers ask about protecting yourself in prison. And I try to tell everybody to be positive, to avoid bullshit, and to try to create good energy around yourself. But you're in prison, and you're around a lot of barbarians, ignorant people, and so you gotta learn how to protect yourself. And a lot of times, you don't know if this particular person you have a problem with, how far they're going to take it, if you could avoid a situation. But as far as this basic protecting yourself, there's a few things you can do. This is similar to a state issued belt, federal issued belt. Usually it has like a buckle on the side and you can kind of fasten it, but it looks similar to this. It's like a nylon or canvas. Well, this belt, you could take it off. You can try to whoop somebody with it, but if you take this belt and you put this lock, which you usually have a locker with a lock on it, now you have a weapon. Now, in case somebody runs up on you, you can use this lock to protect yourself. You can work this thing like some nunchucks. I mean, it's good for multiple people. It frees up in hand, and it also allows you to wield this other hand as a formidable weapon. If somebody's coming at you with a knife, you can step back. You can move around. Just don't want to hit yourself with this thing. But this is a useful weapon if you can't get a hold of a knife to protect yourself. This is something that's right in your lock in your cell that you can use as a weapon. You also got a sock. You got the lock going inside the sock, and this is something that's used quite often in youth authority because you don't have knives, so guys use lock and sock. So you got a lock and a sock now, and you got a motherfucker who's been talking shit, and he's maybe bigger than you, or maybe he just clicked up and you can't get to him, and it's inevitable, so you catch the motherfucker taking a nap, you run up in there, sock and lock his ass. This is a very formidable weapon, and you can kind of use it like a belt, but you hit somebody upside the head with this a couple times, they're gonna back up off you. And like I said, I'm not promoting violence, but it's just being aware of your surroundings. You're dealing with people who aren't logical. A lot of them, you can't talk to them. They're fucking ignorant, and you gotta protect yourself. Close range, brass knuckles. You're chilling, motherfucker always talking shit. Put your hands up in here like this, your middle knuckle through here. Booyah. You bust a motherfucker whole jaw out. Break a motherfucker's nose. Bust his temple. This right here is very effective if you're close range and you're dealing with somebody who's a fucking knucklehead and you done tried to ration with them. You got to protect yourself. This is all about protection. It's nothing about going out being aggressive in prison. And you don't even want to have to go to prison to do these things. God forbid. But you got to be aware of protecting yourself because you don't want to become a victim. Nobody wants to become a victim. Motherfucker trying to bust some cheeks, you bust his motherfucking head. You don't want to let anybody take advantage of you while you're in there. It's not right. If anything ever jumps off, whether it be in a dorm, a unit, the yard, always keep your boots on at all times. Don't walk around in your shower shoes. That's a no-no. You don't chill. You're not at the beach. You're not at Santa Monica. Put your motherfucking boots on. Keep them strapped. Always wear your boots, unless you're at a fucking camp, and even shit jumps off there sometime. But have your boots on, and if something jumps off, back yourself into an area where there's a wall. That way you only have one area to defend, which is this. You don't want to have to turn around and all that. You want to have to just defend this. So if your back's against the wall, you can, you can defend yourself. And you don't have to worry about somebody sneaking up behind you. A big pen and basically a mechanical pencil. two formidable weapons. Go through the metal detector, they don't go off, and at close range, they're very effective. You know, you're dealing with an element in there. A lot of times a surprise, and you don't want to be caught slipping. And if you're in a mix, if you're gang banging, you're clicked up, you know, you're in the mix. You know, if you're hanging out in law library, you're avoiding a lot of bullshit, you should be all right. But if you're in the mix, you got to protect yourself, you know. And even if, you know, you're just strolling the yard, you hang out in the yard a lot, shit always happens on the yard. You got to protect yourself. These two pins, this pen, this pencil, are, you know, it could be very effective. Close range, you could puncture, you know, the tender spot, you know, somebody, you know, running up on you, you hit a motherfucker in the neck, he'll back up, you know. These things can penetrate the skin, you know, with the right force. And, you know, it's defensive. I'm not saying be offensive, defensive, you know. You don't want some big dude and coming after you. And a lot of times, motherfuckers wearing big jackets anyways. Big jackets, shit's jumping off. You see a lot of dudes walking into the yard with big jackets on and it's warm, shit's gonna crack. You know, big jacket protects you from getting stabbed, shit going through the skin. And, you know, a lot of times dudes wrap magazines, books and stuff around their waist too, if they know there's going to be something jumping off to protect the vital organs. But this right here, on a defensive level, if you're against the wall and dudes are coming after you, you know what I'm saying, it gives you a way to protect yourself. Get up off me. You know what I'm saying? Get up off me. Because, you know, a lot of times ain't nobody coming with these. They're trying to come and stick you, so you got to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? You got to protect yourself. Toothbrush, of course, guys sharpen these up. They use these as blinkies, you know, as knives and shanks in prison. And, you know, they're plastic, they don't go off. And, you know, people can walk through the metal detector with them, and they're basically very formidable weapons in prison. You know, you can cause a lot of damage with just a toothbrush. So, you don't see these too often, but I made one to show you what they could look like. Now, something like this, some guy then broke something off of something. He done wrapped a towel around here, taped it up, and he probably has this thing dude might have it like stuffed in his pants like that, so you can't tell. And, you know, he's walking the yard chilling, he'll just be bailing, like, you know, playing it off, you know, and shit jump off. But this is something he's probably carrying with him if he knows there's going to be a situation. So he's probably playing always to his less favorable side, so you can't see it. And this is probably something that is not going to have to go through the metal detector. But pull this thing out, and this thing is going to go through somebody. Very dangerous weapon. It doesn't have to have serrations on it to cut, because it's going to poke, and then when it pokes, it's going to make you bleed out. You're going to puncture an organ, which is going to require you to go to the hospital, and you probably won't make it. So this is a very dangerous weapon in prison. But this is some of the things that you'll run across if you're in an institution of some sort with violent criminals. And you know, you just got to learn protection. You got to learn how to protect yourself. Of course, working out, keeping in shape, you know what I mean, so that way you have some wind. But also, you have to just think about, you know, your life. Always think about your life and your family you want to get back out to.